Welcome back to season 6, episode 22 of the Will Reads. Getting pretty close to the end here, and if you're watching live right now, you might notice. Actually, we just lost Chris too. She's gonna be me tonight. Chris's camera's having issues.
Nah, I would do that to
you. I'm just gonna go through this with no first-time readers, and we're canceling right now. No, Ian was gonna try to make it. He has a sinus infection right now, but apparently it's pretty gnarly. So he's taking it off. Which granted, get better. So. Some yellow Aja feelings for Ian. Hopefully he gets better. And
please,
yeah, do the blessings, whatever works, and hopefully Ian gets all that stuff cleared up and is back with us next week, because next week is going to be quite the fun week. But yeah, so a couple updates on what's going on. We just came off of Twitter Time Awards last Saturday. You can go back and watch it again. Or watch it the first time if you haven't in our YouTube. While you can, I don't think there's a copyright claim. No copyright strikes yet. They're not trying to take me down yet, but we'll get there. But it was great, a fun time. It had its fair share of technical difficulties, but it would not be the Will Reads without technical difficulties. So it was a good time and a ton of fun. And Michael Kramer killed it. So go check it out. Lots of fun. As far as stuff coming up, like I said, we're getting close to the end of the book, so we're probably going to do a couple of reads, or maybe do a read a couple of weeks. We also have another Wad of Fortune coming up on the 19th. Is that Saturday? I think it's the 19th. Yeah. 19th. Yeah, so the Saturday before Thanksgiving week, and that's going to be on Wad of Fortune, and then we're doing Wad of Fortune again, like only in a few more weeks, that first weekend of December. For the Watt Holiday with Malkier Talks, a charity fundraiser. So that's not going to be on this channel, but it'll be on that channel. And then sometime in December we're going on Delusion's Feather Mountain podcast. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. At least I do. And Chris and Ian were going to be with Delusions for that. So that'll be fun. I sent you guys dates, I think. Yes. So I think
you're on top of that. I got to make it a calendar invite so I don't forget.
Okay. It all starts to blend together after a while. But we do have new patrons too. So I do got to say shout outs to that. So we have Trey as a new patron. So thank you, Trey. Yay. And then Anamelia. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Ben, our Anamelia. Thank you for upgrading.
Thank you.
We
have to pay for those awards, so we appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we raised a little bit of money during the awards to help pay for the awards, but it doesn't pay for all. There's Twitter Time Awards are expensive, and there's other stuff that gets involved with how much it costs to actually put that show on. There is some cost.
We're not even allowed to watch it either, guys. But in 7.5 billion years, when I watch it, I just want to be like, oh my god, it was so phenomenal.
It was so awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. But we do have a guest next week too, so that's fun. And when we get to the end of this episode, I'll tell you about those chapters. But next week we have Jess, the Amlin Study, also from Tarvalin After Dark podcast and the Amlin Study YouTube channel. Jess is going to be a guest next week on the podcast, so looking forward to having Jess on. It's going to be fun.
I get to be naughty, or do I have to be nice?
Jess is fun. You met Jess at Jordan Con.
I think we've had fun together.
No, she hasn't been on, but she was at Jordan Con in the suite upstairs. So you probably met her. You might recognize her when she comes. Anyway, you've met her. I'm gonna say you have. We're gonna leave it at that. But yeah, so looking forward to that. Should be fun. And that's all I got for announcements. No giveaways going on right now. I'm still trying to figure out where all of the budget and everything fits between Jordan Con and Twitter Time Awards and everything else. But we'll do giveaways. They are coming. I just need to figure all that out. At some point. So personal life, let's see. My youngest has the flu right now, so like it's funny. So my youngest has the flu. His best friends, my oldest's best friends siblings both have RSV, and there's RSV cases at the preschool, and then his other best friend who they all hung out together this weekend has hand, foot, and mouth.
Oh, good Lord.
So like the flu, RSV, and like between the group that we all hang out together all the time with, we all hang out with them this weekend because there's fall festival at a local museum, at Mariners Museum. We all were there. So wish me luck as everyone's about to get sick.
As I'm listening, I'm like, and you're not sick yet? Like,
I'm just waiting. I'm like, my immune system might be ox-worthy, strong as an ox, but that's a lot to. My immune system's going to be on a high test coming up this next week. Because I've had to hold my son, for the last couple of days because he's 8 months old and has the flu. So
yeah, that really sucks so bad.
Of course, Ian has a sinus infection. So, but he's not around me, so I don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, not yet, at least.
Yeah,
is he still trapped in the barracks?
I think he got out. I think he's done. He said he was getting discharged last week by Thursday. That was last Tuesday, but I have not spoken with him because it's been like mad crazy. This weekend was like our Saturday was. I had Twitter Time Awards at night, but during the day, woke up, had my son's soccer game. He immediately went over to a birthday party. Mm-hmm. And then I had to go to Lowe's with my daughter to get stuff to fix a door. And then as soon as they woke up, we went to Fall Festival, got him home, fed him, put him in bed, and did Twitter Time Awards. And then woke up the next day. It was just like a crazy weekend. So
yeah.
Parent life, kind of thing. Yeah. So, how about you? What's going on?
It's like, when do you sleep? Oh yeah, that's right. You don't.
I had coffee. That's
so me 2.5 weeks into the married life. I see a lot of people are hitting me up in the chat about that and just saying hi. So hello to those that are watching and listening. Married life has been great. It really hasn't been much different than life before, except for the fact that I don't get to tease Chanel as much about, oh, well, you haven't put a ring on it yet, because now I technically am supposed to have my ring on. So there's that. I don't have it on right now because I just got out of the shower. Y'all missed the show.
I don't think mine comes off anymore.
I've actually cut into my finger taking mine off.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't like it. My knuckle gets swollen, and then that's the end of it. But I'm like, no, I'm not gonna shower with it on because I like to be completely in the nude when I shower.
Yeah, I used to take it off when I went sailing just because I've heard horror stories. Actually, I've known people that have horror stories where it gets caught and rips a finger off. But now I just tape it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So, yeah.
Oh my god. Like just the image of that. Oh, I kind of want to see it, but I don't want to.
There was an older woman that we used to race with. She's in her 70s now, but she lost her finger like back in the 80s.
Oh wow!
Her wedding finger got
crazy.
There's lots of
ow! Oof! Like how do you, like I'm grabbing the rope and then
yeah, it gets caught in there. It's just right off.
Oh God, I can't even.
Racing sailboats. I mean, like the boats that we race on, I race big boats, so they're 40-foot, 50-foot boats, and all the pound pressure on there is in tonnage. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not even in kilograms or pounds. It's tons. Like how much pressure is on all.
Yeah, it can literally take your finger without even.
Oh, it's like butter. Yeah, it wouldn't even.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember how many. Like in order to destabilize the rig, the mast and everything like that, to get everything undone, you got to get a hydraulic pump, and I think you have to pump up. I want to say it's 30 tons to get it up enough to release the pressure. It's insane. So anyway,
yeah, it is. But yeah, so married life is great. We're thoroughly enjoying it. We've been enjoying, all of the congratulations. And also just going back and looking at all the pictures and the fun videos and seeing and hearing from people about how much they enjoy their time. And we have had time now to kind of relax out of it and just to reflect on ourselves. And we're completely happy and. Life is moving forward. I just started a new job working for Truist. So, I relationship banker now, and I don't really know how much legally I can go into beyond that, except for I can
Probably
help you with
nothing.
your accounts. Like if you're a Truist member or want to become one, come to Charlotte and see me or give me a call. I'll hook you up with whatever I can legally hook you up with.
Fun times. Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about any of my work on anywhere because of legal reasons. But yes,
exactly. So that is as far as we're gonna go there. But outside of that, just the cats are still adorable, and Lily has learned that she can jump clear onto our countertops.
Ooh.
It took one of those, and then it was a quick, swift, like reflexive arm across, and she flew, and she's not been on the countertop since. So she learned 2 things that day.
Yeah, it's that's always fun. Yeah, when the cats start to jump up higher and higher. It's we have to hide plants in our house from our cats or from my cat. I have one, I don't have 2, but my cat loves to eat plants.
I have a whole plant display, and for the first 2 weeks, it was me snatching them off the plants and scolding them.
Yeah, so we grow like lemongrass inside for him to munch on because he likes to eat grass.
I tried that, but they won't touch that. But they'll touch my plants. I give them their own plant, they knock it over.
He'll eat grass. Yeah, helps with digestion, but they don't throw up it everywhere. So it's
I won't do that.
Whatever. So you ready to move into some Wheel of Time?
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah. The first one, this first chapter, I don't think it's going to take too long, but the second chapter is a lot to talk about, or maybe you talk a lot about this one too. But Leaning on the Knife, chapter 48, and we got the Wheel of Time symbol here, and of course, if you remember anything from last week, the knife is the marriage knife that all the women in Abu Dhar wear, and we're going to talk about colloquialisms, and I just love that word.
Yes,
and and different phrases that they use here because we get to meet our Queen Thailand, and we'll talk a little about her in a bit. But yeah, so we start out with Nynaeve trying to calm herself because she's irritated at Tom and Julian. What else is new? She's mad at someone. And I think she's mad at Elaine as well. And Brigitte and Avienda are all there as well. They're at the palace. And they're trying to, I guess, get an audience with the queen. They're waiting in the waiting room, sitting room, whatever you want to call it. So,
yeah, it's more like they being told that they have to wait, and that's kind of frustrating. And they're like, you would think that if 4 Aes Sedai showed up or 3 Aes Sedai showed up, you would be more than willing and ready to greet them and allow them to come in and chat with you. But it's like, you'll wait. You'll wait your turn. So,
yeah. Yep. So, eventually, anything from all this before we get to actually going to see the queen? Because I think that's the big part of this. They talk about dresses and
they talk about dresses and tea, and like there's nothing really big and nothing that really jumps out to me in this sense. I mean, there's this thought that something's been hidden from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's kind of like the only thing that really jumped out of me besides the description and talking about the different clothing and where necklines lie and just the normal stuff that girls talk about. I guess tea and dresses. That's
So there are a couple of things that happen here. So a servant comes in, says, the queen wishes to see 3 Aes Sedai. Elaine says there are only two. And that she and Nynaeve will go, and Brigitte and Avienda can go scout the city. But as the Aes Sedai, or as Nynaeve and Elaine are being led to the queen's chambers, Nynaeve sees somebody that seems a little out of place there. Did you catch that? Jacob Karen?
Yes, I did. Karen? She's like, what the hell is a white cloak doing here? And especially that one.
Because we know who that one is. That's the one who calls himself Boris.
Yes, that is a dark friend. Which I wonder what side he's working, what angle he's working, and for who he's working it for, being here. And then like how much of them being there is he really paying attention to? Because they're like, oh, he just walked by us as if he didn't recognize us, but he didn't come off as the type of person to miss much to me.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if he's going to cause issues soon.
Yeah. And White Cloaks and Aes Sedai do not get along. Them
Not at
witches.
all.
So and then especially Dark Friends and Aes Sedai. Well, they get along if they're Black Aja, but I don't think Nynaeve and Elaine are going to get along with Dark Friends.
No, not.
So yeah, they finally go meet the queen, and the first thing the queen says is like, "You're Aes Sedai? Come on,
Yeah.
you're not Aes Sedai." And they get pissed about this. They're like, "Who are you to say who we are? Like, do you think the other Aes Sedai that are with us would let us just act like Aes Sedai? Of course we're Aes Sedai. Like, you don't know anything that It's like, I've been to the tower. It's like, so things have changed. We're a lot different. And that's what she says, a little phrase, lean back on the knives and let their tongues go free.
Yeah.
So little colloquialism, I guess, to speak freely, I guess is kind of what it
For
means.
sure. I mean, it's funny because when she addresses them, it's not as Aes Sedai, but you two must be Elaine and Nynaeve. And then she asks specifically about Avienda. So she's very aware of what's going on in her palace, and she's definitely like trying to make sure that she sets the tone of, you're gonna come when I call you. You'll approach a certain way, you'll be addressed a certain way, and just know that I know what's going on. And then she allows them this convenience of just being relaxed, which, at least one of them knows how to take this and the other one does not. So,
Yeah.
she being Nynaeve gets really offended because Thailand spoke before they could say anything. She's like, you guys can't be more than 18 and maybe 22, and you're too young to call yourselves anything in regards to Aes Sedai. And Nynaeve just snaps at her.
Yeah, because that's how Nynaeve does. So before we get too much further into this interaction and what they talk about, I want to go back a little bit and talk about the marriage knife itself, the little, I guess, jewelry, or it's actually it's worn as jewelry, but it's actually a real knife, and it's ornate and it has so much meaning. Like you're wearing your entire life story on you.
Yeah, I know it came a little bit later, and I definitely wanted to put a focus on it because, like you said, it definitely talks about their culture and what their beliefs are, like the different stones and how the stones are embedded in the knife. And so they each have, where's that meaning at? I'm trying to find it.
Well, hers meant she was a widow, and then each stone was representing a kid. And if it,
She's a
color
widow
things,
that would not marry again. And
right.
then she had 4 sons and 1 daughter, and only 1 survived her.
The rest died in duels.
Yeah, but then if they don't duel by the age of 16, they were going to be disowned from the family anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
like, I don't know if I want to fight in a duel at 16 years old. Like, yeah, with sticks and stuff, but not like with swords. I don't want to die. Like, yeah.
And that's their culture, even amongst the nobles. Is at 16 years old, you're expected to duel, and it's kind of a definitely foreign to us. You think back to maybe like medieval times, but that's a lot of it. A lot of that's romanticized too, like the joust tournaments and things like that, and duels and things. I mean, a lot of it's romanticized, and it didn't happen as deadly as they might portray in Game of Thrones. Not that there weren't deaths in it, but I don't think kings ever died. It's like go back even further. Like the movie Gladiator, and fighting the emperor on the floor of the Colosseum never happened.
No.
The emperor never got down into the floor. He might have took a tour of it when no one was there, but never fought a gladiator. that didn't happen. A lot of that is romanticized. So I think that to have a whole entire culture like this, though, I mean, even the Wild West duels are romanticized. Not that duels didn't happen, like gun duels.
Yeah.
They did happen. I mean,
but they just weren't. Yeah.
And Alexander Hamilton. There's they're famous duels, but
yes.
I can't remember when actually we outlawed dueling. but I know it was still it's the practice stopped long before it was outlawed. Like so, eventually they actually changed the laws and outlawed it. But like the practice of dueling stopped long ago. And I know it was Teddy Roosevelt used to keep dueling pistols in the Oval Office and would still challenge people to duels, but no one ever took him up on it. That he would pull out his dueling pistols and say, "You can go settle this right now on the old-fashioned way on the White House lawn," and no one ever took him up on it. Like, oh, okay.
He was looking forward to it too.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I do want to bring attention to the fact about how excited Nynaeve was to make claim to the fact that she's part of the Yellow Aja.
Mm-hmm.
Like we knew that was the direction she was going to go, but she made sure it was announced, and she felt a moment of pride swell up inside of her. So,
okay, 1839 is apparently when I think someone might have looked it up when it was actually outlawed. So I guess Teddy Roosevelt was offering illegal duels because he was definitely early 1900s. He's president, you know.
Yeah, he can do what he wants. He's like, executive order, this duel is legal.
Yeah,
smoking a cigar the whole time.
Something like that, yeah. So yeah, they get to talk about a lot of things. The first thing they talk about is white cloaks. And Thailand says, need aid. You have an army in my country, and Altara, or I guess it's Altara. It's the this is the capital of Altara, and Saladar's in her country, and Gareth Britain's entire army, and they calm her down right away. Said, we already have him marching north. He's already leaving. We're marching it out. But and sorry, not sorry. We have an army under soil. Foreign armies usually are not well received by any ruler.
So I think it was one thing for Nynaeve to kind of go off on her and call her out for allowing for these people to be in her throne room and everything, but for her to then give the explanation. There was a moment where she's like thumbing her knife, like, I'm gonna slit your throat for questioning me, and then she kind of smiled at her, and she's just like, you know what, I told you to speak your tongue, and clearly you do, even though you probably shouldn't. But I'm just gonna let you know that I entertain everybody that is literally at my that comes to my throne, because I'd like to have a throne left at some point in time to like hand down to my son.
Mm-hmm.
The last one.
Yeah, exactly. And then they move on to talking about the Tongarel, the Bull of Winds that they're searching for. Saying that Elaine speaks that they're searching for this thing in their city, and that's why they're there. Talk a little bit about all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she goes into the story about like how her lands used to be so much greater, and then they are a whole lot less. And then when it's mentioned by Elaine that they're there for ter'angreal, and she's like, well, it's amazing that there's something that could control the weather. It would be miraculous to have it right again, because clearly they're all suffering from this drought, and it's really making people question their rulers, as it would say maybe they did something wrong to upset the gods. But then she's like, the quarter you describe sounds like Rahad, which is across the river, and even the civil guards step lightly there. Forgive me, I understand that you're Aes Sedai, but in Rahad, you could have a knife in your back before you knew it. If the clothes are fine, they'd use a very narrow blade, so there's little blood. So perhaps you should leave this search to Vandine and Adeles, or no.
Yeah.
And then she's like, the other two Aes Sedai that came and visited. So she's just like doubting them 100%, but at the same time, she's not wholeheartedly telling them they can't do it. She's just like, I would suggest you don't, but I don't care. Do what you want. Like, if you die, there's 2 less people I have to worry about. I think that's kind of her attitude.
Yeah. He tells them to stay safe, but hey, go look for it, but stay safe. And that's kind of the end of this interaction. I mean, I know that there's a lot kind of more, but that's kind of like the bulk of what they talked about. But anything else you pull from this? What do you think about Thailand? What's your first impressions of her?
She's tired.
Okay.
Like that was the feeling I got, was she's just like, I just want you people to leave us alone. I have enough to handle with my own people. And I got Aes Sedai, I've got white cloaks, I've got 2 different groups of Aes Sedai. Like I would prefer it if y'all leave us alone so that we can figure our own stuff out. And that way I can die in peace and leave my son something to be proud of.
Yep.
Like, that is literally her attitude right now. I like
Exactly.
how candid she is
Yeah.
and how, she could sit down but still control the room. It kind of reminds me of the oh man, I forgot his title. One of the characters from Elantris, how he commanded the room from a seat, and how he sat down quietly and just spoke in an even tone, and all the nobles listened. It's like when you have that type of power, that's when you know you're really in charge. So
yeah. And then they exit, and on the way back, Elaine makes the wager with Nynaeve that she bets her in 10 days they'll find it.
that seems to be a common bet.
Do you think they'll find it in 10 days?
I don't think they'll find it at all.
Okay. Do you think it's even here?
Now that you said that, maybe. I mean, you would hope that they do find it, but I mean, how else do you control the weather other than using a ter'angreal? And if the weather's been messed up already, then wouldn't it lead you to think that somebody's already found it and ruined the weather?
And how else are we gonna have 8 more books if you'd find it right away? I mean, come on.
There's that too.
Yeah.
What they're gonna find is a whole shitload of problems.
Yeah.
We have this much of the book left, as Ian likes to point out. What are we gonna have happen in this much book?
Oh, hold on to your butts. It's yeah. So
I swear, if a main character dies in this much book, I'll be really upset.
I don't know. Good question. We'll get there. So Rapho, there you go. Someone in chat said it for me. There you go. A lot of Holocaust here. Rapho.
But to ban you from that chat. No kidding.
So yeah, that's me in this chapter.
It was a very short chapter, but it was eventful in the sense that we gain a greater understanding of the rulers and their thoughts and feelings and how kind of over everything they are. And again, like you said, we met a whole new culture and learned about some colloquialisms, and then we also realized that Egwene will let Nynaeve stick her neck out before she kind of reels her back in. She's kind of letting her learn lessons. And so, like, we didn't really discuss that part of it, but I thought it was really funny when she's like, yes, you rest upon your knives, whatever. And so they both sat down, and then you have Elaine who kind of just like staring off into nowhere, trying not to make eye contact with the ruler. And then you got Nynaeve who's like, let me tell you, you shouldn't be involved with these people, and you should be worried about this, but you shouldn't be thinking about that, and you need to da-da-da-da-da. And then the woman's like, bitch, do you not know who I am? And then
wasn't also
the background.
Did you also have a conversation with Avienda at some point where they're talking about blending in and like disguising themselves? Yeah. Like, oh, I'll wear Cadensaur. It's like, that's not blending in, Avienda. she's like, that's how you'll hide. Is with the Cadensaur. Like,
exactly. That's how we hide.
No, Avienda.
No. But if anybody could hide in plain day, it would be Avienda. Let's just be real.
Yes,
it would be her. But I mean,
to me, it just seemed like Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy type scene. Like, oh, I'll hide by staying very still. You can't see me. We see you.
It's like we're not on your home planet where you look like a rock, but crazy. But again, I think like Elaine just kind of sat there like, and now I'll speak because you've already made an ass out of yourself. So I'm fine with that now.
Yeah. So, guys, you ready? I say, guys, Ian's not here. Sad times.
Poor Ian.
Chris, are you ready to move to the next chapter?
I am. The Mirror of Mists.
Yes, chapter 49. Yeah, and we get the rising sun of Kyrian, which we not or I guess we're getting there at the end, but It
Yeah,
doesn't take
but we're
place
not
really
there
there at
right
all.
now.
No, we're in Camelin right now, and things are getting heated.
Huh.
That's for sure.
Oh, I like that, huh? Farstrider brought up a good quote. Now I have stood bare-breasted in the fish market for you. Answer me mine. You're right. I do think that was another really good quote. Because again, it makes this leader seem very familiar. And we don't get that much from the leaders. We get it a little bit from Egwene, but that's because she's part of the party. Like,
Yeah.
and Rand's from the Two Rivers, but he doesn't even speak this freely anymore. So
he speaks free this chapter, that's for sure.
He does. That's what's exciting. So just to start, we have Rand having a nice, calm conversation with
Perrin.
My boy Perrin. I'm so glad we got Perrin back in the game. Like,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I will have to say, Perrin has been gone for books, but it's like he never left. It's like good casual conversation. Rand finally feels relaxed. He's sipping tea. It's spiked with a little something extra. Like they're enjoying their time. They're smoking their pipes. We don't know what's in those pipes, but they're seeing visions and they're really calm. And Perrin's like, bro, I could use some deer meat right now. And so
I could use the hunt. And then you hear thud, thud, thud in the hallway of steps. And Rand knows right away who it is. He jumps to his feet. And it's like Frodo and the other hobbits and Lord of the Rings. And they come running to give each other hugs. It's a super happy scene of Loial, you're here. Yeah. Because Loial comes back. Oh, Rand. And I know I teased that we'd have Loyal's voice back, but since he has science fiction, I don't know if he could even do it right now. So
no, probably not.
Probably couldn't. Not that Ian does it. It's just it's Loyal's living at Ian's house, and he might have the science fiction too. And yeah.
Now, see what really gets me is how frustrated Rand gets at the fact that Perrin brings up men and what men sees in her viewings. It's like, are you mad that she had the viewing? Are you mad that he used her against you? Do you have some type of feelings for her you don't want to address? Like, these are they're slowly developing. Because he's all about like, oh, Min's my girl, that's my homie, like my home skillet. I love how she sits on my lap when she comes to visit me and strokes my face and she kisses my cheek and why do I feel this way? Feelings. Feelings that we feel. Yeah. Anyway. But it's great to have Loial back. Like
and it's a brief cheerful moment until Rand mentions Loyal's mom, and then immediately Loyal's ears flatten back, and he's like, "My mother, Elder Hammond, they must be trying to marry me. This is not good. I'm too young."
Don't go too far first. We got our bet first because Perrin looks at Loial like, "Hey, you're looking quite tired there, friend." And Loyal's like, "Yeah, you owe me a gold mark or what is it? A gold crown." He's like, "You'll get your money." He's like, "Yeah, I should have bet you more." and then Perrin's like, "Yeah, he's been corrupted. He bets on horses and he doesn't even know the difference of the horses. Like he just loves to gamble now. He sounds more like Matt every day."
I had a friend like that in college. I had never gambled before, never understood the point of gambling, and we all went to Vegas together. It was Ian, myself, and a bunch of us, and this guy, like I said, like we would go play blackjack. He's like, "I'm not gonna play." I said, "I don't understand why you just throw your money away. It doesn't seem like fun to like just throw your money away." Like completely adamant against gambling because he knew the house is always in favor. So we're sitting there waiting for like a table at a restaurant. Of course, there's games everywhere in Vegas. So we go sit down at a blackjack table, and he literally goes, "Fine, I'll put $5 down." Still the first deal. He wins. He was hooked. No idea what he was doing, but he was like,
"Wait a second,
I just put $5 down. I got 10. Like I doubled my money like that. That's how this works." I was like, "That's how it works."
If you win,
if you win. Instant gratification, instant addiction. Just like you see, like his face just go like, "I'm gambling now." Fun times. He ended up losing a lot of money that week. So anyways, yeah, so Loyal's, wondering where his mom and Elder Hammond are, and they said, oh, they're in the Two Rivers. I brought them to see you, but I guess you had already left, so they're probably mad at me right now. But Aerith was with them too, and he's kind of bumbling about stuff. He's like, wait, Aerith, like the beautiful girl that you met him too, ran a pair, like you.
Yeah, like she gave me a flower.
It must mean that she wants, that's who I'm gonna get married to. So he's kind of excited about it.
Yeah. At first he was not. He was like, "Wait a second, that could only mean they're here to marry me, and she's gonna make me go home, and I don't have enough information for my book, and I'm not ready. And you think this shit's funny, but I will." Like he was about to go off. And he's like, "Wait a second, what name did you say?" She actually thought I was interesting. She liked to hear what I was talking about. There was hope there. He was like, I can marry her, be with a beautiful woman, and she might let me finish my book. Yeah. That's what that was. He's like, I have a chance. I have freedom.
But this is all short lived because Rand gets right down to brass tacks, like almost instantly. He's just like, all right, so Waygates, you can find them, right? You're in the stedding, right? They usually have Waygates near steddings. And he's like, yeah, you went to go heal. And he's like, I mean, not really. I just need to go feel one. I can do 10 more years. And like, it's like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to boast. Like, it's okay if you have to go. like get away. But
so I was beside myself on this part.
Yeah.
Because there was a part of me that felt like Rand was doing it out of genuine concern for Loial.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that he needs somebody to travel the steddings and the Waygates and make sure they're secure, but then he's also concerned that Loial's not getting what he needs by only having gone for a short time, because he did ask him that at first, and then it was just like, all right, so my request of you is, and then Lord Perrin went the fuck off, like, do you use everybody? Like, are you kidding me? He just got back, he's tired, and
we're supposed to be friends. Like, all you can see is just this pawn pieces or pieces on chessboard to move around to play your game. Like, can we just hang out? Do we have to? So, Perrin's definitely angry about it. And Rand's just like, yes, this needs to be done. Like, the last battle's not the Tarmogoyf's not going to wait for you guys to, it's like, I had to make these hard decisions. But.
And I mean, it gives Loial an opportunity to continue running, because there's also the statement, it is different with us, Loial went on. It is considered very rude not to do what your wife says. Very rude. I know she'll make me settle down to do something solid and respectable like tree singing or so it's kind of like a knock on the guys, like, y'all don't listen to your women, you don't do, you don't take them into consideration. He even goes as far as saying, our women don't listen to us as well as oh shoot, her name just left my mind that fast.
As Fael listens to Perrin.
That's Fael listens to Perrin. Oh man, that was my reaction. I giggled so hard. I was like, Fael listen to who? Like, are you watching the same things I watch? Like, have you been a part of their relationship at all? Like, no. She pretends to listen to what he says, and then, or she hears it. Let me take that back. She hears everything he says.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't do a darn thing she doesn't want to do. And that's the end of that one.
Yep.
So, anyway, that was a cute moment.
Yeah. And as all this anger is having for Perrin, Min just bursts the doors very abruptly. It's like, there's 7 Aes Sedai coming right now. Like,
she's like, Daddy, run, Daddy.
And before it had been 3 coming, back to back to back, and they visit twice in a row, and then for the last 5 days the visits had stopped.
Well, he said it. He was like, calm yourself. I was beginning to think that they were taking to their beds. Like, what did you say her name was? Damara? In truth, he really just considered himself like lucky that they hadn't been back in so long. And of course, Lews Theron's in the back of his mind, like, kill him all while you can. Do it.
Yeah.
What does Lews have against Aes Sedai? Did I miss that? Like, what? Why kill the Aes Sedai?
Yeah. Why? Because he doesn't trust them. I mean, Min had a viewing that the Aes Sedai are going to hurt him. Luz doesn't trust these Aes Sedai at all.
Yeah,
Luz doesn't trust anyone. If you haven't gotten
no.
that, haven't picked it up yet. But yeah, so yeah, Luz is not happy about facing 7 at once. You know, it's just how I can probably handle.
Well,
I don't know, about 3, 5, 7's a lot. It's I don't know if I can.
well, she flat out was like, "Listen to me, it's 7 of them," and then like you said, Luz is just literally 7. No, 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 no. And Rand's like, "Nope, no, 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 no. I will not lose control. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Like, let me grasp the power now. Let me take control before he slips away." Which that's a scary thought. Like that man could be asleep and then lose control. Like I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's gonna end up going to sleep and then losing it all.
Yeah, and but Rand thinks about the little man Angriel he has in his pocket, and that kind of calms down Luz a little bit. But immediately he starts coming back, murmuring in the back of his head, but calms him down a bit. He's like, "Well, I got that. I can handle 7. I can handle 7." So quickly, he gets some of the maidens and goes and prepares the room. And Rand tells Min to stay with Loial and Perrin, even though Min kind of protests a little bit, saying like, "Can't I just come along?" And he's like, "No, you need to stay hidden, otherwise they'll suspect stuff." And he's kind of right about this. He's like, "I'll hide behind the comms." Like,
Loial got a little bit more forced book. He heard them call him Karn, which he hadn't heard before. So he's like, "Oh, he's finally accepted his titles. Like, yeah, now I can continue my book."
Yeah. Yep. And Rand goes and gets his coat and goes to the Grand Hall with his. I think he has his dragon scepter too, and their 100 maidens are waiting there.
All of his needs are being like they're reading his mind, which I thought that moment was super cool because it took Rand and elevated him. Where he's like, "Do this, it's already done. Do that, it's already done. Do this, we're ahead of you. Bring me my horse." And she's like, "Huh? Bring you your horse?"
Yeah.
Do you really want your horse? Because I will get your horse, but do we want that horse indoors? So right. I thought that was a little funny moment for me. The fact that he could have that moment in the midst of everything going on means that Rand's not completely gone.
Yeah. And Bashir and his wife and the troops are outside the city right now. So he thinks about that too. He's like, if this comes down to a fight, he's doing his math real fast. I get the maidens. All right, let's go. And Rand takes his seat right as they announce that the Aes Sedai are there. So he beats them there.
Let's be real, like there are 7 of them, and yes, they have control of the power, but they're not the most skilled 7.
No, they're not. No. And it's a funny scene. It's an interesting scene, where they I don't want to say funny. It's an intriguing scene because the 7 Aes Sedai march in an arrowhead formation, growing larger as they're coming because they're channeling. Rand can feel it right away. They're channeling.
It reminds me of the intro for Attack on Titans and how they have like the bubble, the fisheye view. And then like as they walk, they get larger and they zoom out and you can see that they actually are giants. But in this, it's like Luz/Rand are like, are they really using illusions to try to?
Well, yeah, Luz is like the misdemeanors, really cheap tricks. Yeah. Come on,
bitches.
Yeah.
And even Rand's like, I remember seeing this way back in book 1.
Yeah,
but Moraine did it. Moraine got really big too. Like
she did. Yep.
Man, I remember when we thought that was the coolest thing that could happen.
Oh yeah.
Like we were excited to see it in the TV show. Everything like it was just the greatest thing. Didn't happen in the TV show, and
that was hard. That'd be hard to do and make it look cool though. I don't know. Maybe I'd have been able to pull something off, but it's always tough to make characters.
They got to do it for this one though.
Yeah. Do something at least to signify it. But Demir is the one who speaks, saying that it basically starts barking out demands, saying that your restrictions we no longer agree to them. We'll come and go as we please. You'll be taught to heel to Aes Sedai and show respect. And Rand's like, okay. So
He's like, sure. Read and find out exactly what I do to you guys. Like,
Yep.
I promise you won't like it.
Yep. And as in the middle of all this, Rand just slashes through all of their channeling, and the illusion all drops, and they're like, no, everything stands. Now get out.
I like that was my moment. And so Ian asked for us to props to Rand for this moment. This is clearly Ian's favorite moment because we have seen Rand lose his stuff so many times, and we've seen him depend on lose to kind of be the answer, even though he's subconsciously doing it. But this is one moment where Rand just put his foot down and was like, I'm not dealing with this. I don't have the time or the energy or the patience, get the stepping.
Yep. Get go and get out. Go and get. Yep. And yeah, they meekishly leave. Like
after like a wardrobe change.
They stand there in defiance for like a half a second, and then they turn around and leave. And yeah, it's obviously they're not happy about how this was handled. But also loved the little interaction. I think someone pointed out in chat as well the interaction with Baal and Melaine. As the Aes Sedai are told to go, like just like the Aiel little interaction.
Yeah, it was where it was like, we'll go. And he's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I don't
well, then they say something, and then they like how Rand handled it, and Rand's like, and try to make a joke about like maybe the wise ones too, and
yeah,
we're like, no. Not funny anymore.
Very well, Karn. No. Do not be a complete fool, Randall Thor. That was the quote. Baal chuckled, though his wife glared at him, and Lysias brought a chuckle. I love the fact that Rand's still joking in this very serious moment, though.
Exactly. So Min slips away to try to run back to before the ice, or at least to make it look like she wasn't there. No, she slips away to go to Rand to talk about the Aes Sedai. That's what it is. She just run back too, but we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, because she wanted to listen to the interaction with the Aes Sedai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and she's got her little friend in the backdrops who sees her as a little sister, which I was wondering if this is maybe planted. What is his name? Darn it. I'm trying to find it. They were both in the Crown of the Roses. It was the warder that. My hero. I should remember that. Shukosa. Anyway, the fact that he seems so gullible. I mean, yeah, he and in the same area, so he feels kind of responsible, and he's the kind of men would like if she wasn't so into Rand. So, but he feeds her a lot of information, whether he means to or not. And I'm like, was that planted? Like, was Rand supposed to find out about 13 being there? Was he supposed to run and cause issues with connecting? Is this a dark friend at work?
Yeah. Good questions.
I mean, he literally was driven out of his current kingdom because of fear of 13.
Yeah. I mean, Rand is. But yeah, so that's also happens in the scene too, where the other two Aes Sedai show up from the waste, and Min realizes there's 13 now, which is bad news. Because
no bueno. And not only that, but when you look at their aura, it's the same negative aura that she sees when she looks at Rand.
Right. So she's not happy about this at all. Min's super nervous about all that. It was also interesting. Min overhearing some of these little things about them arguing, and Alana being asked if he can put Rand under control. I love her response. Yeah. Have you ever tried to uproot an oak tree with your bare hands? Okay.
An oak tree, not just any tree, an oak tree, a mighty oak tree. Like, that's the picture.
Yeah. It is.
Even trying to pull a sapling up is not easy.
Yeah, but try to pull up an oak tree. Yeah, it's not gonna budge. It's not gonna not even a little bit.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, and Min's wondering why they're not in the waste, and they eventually she overhears that they were halfway to Kyrian when they heard Rand was in Camelin, so they changed pace and went. But after Min realizes, like you said, they're 13, she immediately turns and gets on a horse and gallops back to the palace to warn Rand.
Yeah.
Um,
Who very quickly was like, "All right, and that's my cue. I'm out. Y'all do
I'm
what you
out.
want with Kyrian. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere where I'm more
Yeah.
welcome."
Yeah, when Rand gets the news, and Luz almost tries to take control at that point. He's like, "Screw
Yeah.
this, we're gonna destroy them all." like we're
You
not.
know, in that moment, I kind of agree with Luz. We need to get rid of a couple of them. Don't gotta kill them
Yeah.
all. Just get rid of 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. Well, Master Taim will do it for him.
He
He's
will.
happy to.
He is anxious
He's
to do
anxious to.
so.
Yeah. Yeah, and Min tells her about the viewing he had from Bera and Karuna, and that those 2 women are not friends of Rand at all. That they need to. He needs to get away. And he's like, "All right, fine, we'll leave. You're gonna come with me, though." She's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go Kyrian.
You can drag me wherever you want, Daddy.
we're gonna go ahead and leave." So, but yeah, let's see. Since parents asked Parent and Loial to come as well.
Yeah, he's like, send
Yeah.
for letters, send for ink. We have writing to do, and
Yeah.
I'm going to Kyrian. Like, let's just let
Mhm.
everybody know. Like,
Yep.
so
Yeah, get some letters to write some quick notes. And sends them to Perrin's rooms because he doesn't want to leave Perrin there behind. He fears that they'll try to bond him. Rand assures Min that he would rather cut off his arm than hurt her, and she reacts in a weird way. Loial, Bane, Chiad, and Fael are to accompany Rand too, as well as Sulan. So the whole gang's going. There's a big gang of people just going to Kyrian now. So
for sure. On top of 5 maidens.
What do you say?
I said on top of 500 maidens of the spear.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
This would be a huge party.
Yeah. So anything from all this before I move to kind of some of these messages that are sent out?
I love how ready Loial was to go.
What was that kid in the candy store? Like, ooh, more stuff to write in my book. Let's go. He's all about the adventure. He's the Bilbo Baggins. I'm going on an adventure.
But no, for as dense as this chapter was, the information is pretty easy to pick out. It just gives you that good description and kind of lays a solid foundation for what's coming next. Like they're traveling. The Aes Sedai will be not too far behind. We know that they know about the male channelers, but they're overly distracted by Rand, and clearly they have a plan to deal with that later on. But at the end of the day, they're trying to make sure they have Rand on their side. So
yep. Yeah. And Perrin writes a message to the 2 Verse men that are waiting outside the city to be delivered, saying to follow them to Kyrian. Fael writes a letter to her parents, explain why she's gone. And Min writes a letter to my hero, and Loial writes a letter to Aerith. Lots of letters being written. And then Rand turns and sends a warning to the 13 Aes Sedai, warning the 13 Aes Sedai to Taim.
Don't want no stuff, won't be no stuff. Don't start no stuff, won't be no stuff. That's how I imagine it went.
And all of these are given to Rena Hafor. And 500 maidens show up, and they make a gateway, and they're gone. Yep. And Rand's super exhausted from this. Lois carry him like a baby.
Of course.
Yep. And then we have the final point of view. Anything from all this before we go to the Aes Sedai at the very end?
No, I just feel like this is really good build up. I can't wait to see what's waiting on them in Kyrian.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have the embassy from the White Tower in Kyrian, so there's that.
This is true, but I feel like there's gonna be much more waiting on him. I feel like Dark Friends will be there.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see. So yeah, we get back to Marana's point of view, who is trying to hold together this party, this embassy, and not at all doing a good job because she's rereading Rand's letter. It says he's got to Kyrian. Says, yeah, they can follow. She has permission to follow him, but he can travel. She can't. So it'll take weeks for her to get there. So go ahead.
And he's like, "Don't push me again, chick, because you will not like the ending of it."
Yeah, it's only 6 Aes Sedai can come in total. Which leaves them on equal footing with the White Tower. And as she reads this to the room, it's pretty solemn with the Aes Sedai and the end there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like she admitted, like the whole fellowship, if you want to call it that, has fallen apart. She has zero control over it anymore.
Right.
And she's reading this proclamation, and they're like, "Well, we're not going to listen to that. Like, we're Aes Sedai, and it's time for him to learn a lesson in humility." And that letter proves that he clearly needs the training.
Right.
And he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
And Morena's lost control as well. I mean, Karana and Barra, the two new Aes Sedai showed up, are just taking control. They're like, okay, this is our show now. We're going to do it our way. And she's fighting for, I was supposed to be in charge. It's like, man, you messed this up.
Yeah.
Your goal was to make an ally with Rand. Now he's super suspicious, wants nothing to do with you guys. You screwed the pooch, so we're gonna take control of all this now.
I mean, to be fair, Rand did say he would do it, but they just couldn't manage it.
I guess not. Yeah, and they turn to Alana and they ask, is Rand really gone? And Alana's like, yeah, he's somewhere far to the east. I'm not sure if it's Kyrian, but definitely that direction. He's not here anymore. So, and Varen actually announces that she comes in as well, and says the Two Rivers men are all prepared to move. So obviously they're all leaving.
Well, yeah, there's the question like, why haven't you been him to your will yet? Like, why are we still waiting on this?
Right,
and she's that's like, where you get the clearly have not met a Two River person.
Yeah,
so
I think that's where you get the Oak quote was during that. But yeah, it's like I tried to compel him when I first bonded him. Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, but at least so they pick Alana's going to be one of the ones to come with him because she can point out exactly where he is, which makes sense. And they assign different. Karana just takes control, starts assigning people like, you're going to go there, you're going to take the Two Rivers girls back to Saladar, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And Marana's just and Marana's just sitting there hoping that the Aes Sedai Saladar have elected a new Armerlin strong enough to get them all out of this, because if they haven't,
I'm about Egwene and how much we listen to.
Yeah. Yep. Hoping that they can make the Aes Sedai whole again, because this crap's not working out.
For sure.
Especially the infighting amongst the Aes Sedai. And Marana begs to come as well. So
yeah.
And that's kind of how we end this chapter, with them all leaving to go to Kyrian. So race through these two. But we got some big ones next week. So anything from all this? I mean, pretty cool scenes. I mean, it's and a lot of implications coming up. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say, I want to know what big thing is in Kyrian, what big battle is about to take place, and beyond that, I don't think they're gonna get the bowl in time. So, will they be stuck on that island during the battle?
Stuck on Avidar.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So,
all right. Well, for next week, we are covering 3 chapters. 3. We're back to the 3 train. Yeah, 3 chapters.
He says 3 now, and then next Monday I'll be asking, well, how many chapters are we doing?
Yeah. So that's 50, 51, 52, and those chapter titles are Thorns.
Sounds prickly.
The Taking.
The Taking, or
the
because
taking.
Like that sounds very formal.
Okay.
And
then the last one that we're covering is Weaves of the Power.
I've seen that title, and I'm excited for that one because I feel like that's going to be our big battle chapter.
Okay.
The Taking, that one concerns me. Thorns, I looked at it and I did look at it. I
Okay.
saw the Perrin logo, so I'm like, I don't know, maybe they're trampling through the woods and he meets up with an old wolf that's been picked on and learns some interesting information as he cleans thorns out of the old wolf. Like, there was that thought.
Mm-hmm.
But then that second one, that's just gonna all be all out battle, I think, or entering the battle. So where's my book?
Yeah. So Ian's favorite character this chapter was Rand for how he handled Ice Die. He texted me that. Or texted us that. How about you, Chris? Favorite character?
Loial, because he's so loyal
yeah.
to himself.
Poor Loial. Loial's good. Loial's great in this chapter. He's fun. It's good to have Loial back. It's been a long time.
It is. I mean, he's been gone longer than Perrin, and it's good to have him back and to know that he still has the same boyish concerns, and he's too young to get married and all that cool stuff. And so, but I mean, if I were to pick a different character that I would really want to give kudos to, it would be tough. Like, I love the way Elaine handled herself amongst other royalty, but she is royalty, so she understands how the game is supposed to be played. I love the way Egwene like attempted to recover every part of that conversation she had with the queen, but you know, I think Loial just has that special place in my heart for these chapters because even though he realizes he's running from love, he has that flower pressed in a book somewhere, and he's looking forward to being a married man. So I'm gonna give him that.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to next week because one, Jess is gonna be fun to have on, and two, these are some good chapters. I know I said. I don't say
there would be a death. Anybody? Any deaths?
There's gonna be some big events that happen. I don't know if there's deaths. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't remember. It's been too long since I read this book. It's been over a year, so I'm reading along with you guys. I don't read it. I don't read ahead either, even though I've read them now 3 times.
I'm looking at the comments and it's like such good chapters are coming up. Can't wait. So don't let me down, y'all. Don't hype me up and then let me listen to these chapters and be like, really? This is it? Really?
No, these are good chapters. There's no false hype here. It's definitely this is where the build happens.
I mean, that being said, we're like right there at the end of the book. Like something serious has to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough these next few weeks not to put the book down. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
You're gonna hate me because every end of the book you hate me because it's just like, Anyway, yeah. So how you can be found? It's a short episode, but being only 2 of us and not really long chapters, we found thewheelreads.com. Where you can find links to all our cool stuff like merchandise. Yeah, we do sell merch, some pretty cool stuff. We give it away sometimes, but you can go buy it if you don't want to try to win. As well as links to things like Discord, and our Patreon and all sorts of other things. So go check it out. It has links to all our social media stuff too. We are on all socials. I don't post enough on Facebook. Sorry. I don't get on Facebook at all myself.
Will you go to Facebook now that Twitter's being taken over? What do you think?
No, because our fan base is so much. Twitter time's so strong. It's like its own little pocket anyway. Like Twitter as a whole has always been kind of like this really cesspool, but like Twitter time's always been this like little tiny little pocket community that I don't think that really it doesn't affect anything.
Gotcha.
Like him, like Elon Musk taking over, I don't think it really affects Twitter time. That's my 2 cents. I wasn't there to listen to our other people that are getting banned and things like that, like all the celebrities that are getting banned and things like that are happening. That that wasn't that popular. No one from our community is getting banned, so like I don't really care. It is what it is. And you can not like Elon or whatever and say that you want to leave because of him, but I don't know if I like giant corporations either, which it was before. So it's to me it's I don't know. It is what it is. Thank you. Yeah. Twitter time still goes strong, and I'm still there for Twitter time. Yeah, so I'm still active on Twitter for that reason. Facebook, yeah, I need to get better at that. I just post memes on Instagram. So if you want to watch, I look at funny memes, kind of my Instagram. And TikTok, pretty much the same thing. I need to get better about those things, but we'll get there. And giveaways are done on those things. So yeah, that's where that is. So that's all I got for this week, guys.
Until next time, peace.
Okay, bye.